It's going in and out, right? A lot of people, when they pant, they do this, and they're totally depleted. It's like a laugh, right? And they turn inside out. You want to get that equality to it. But also stop and rest. But I want you to feel everything in motion. The ribs, the diaphragm, the stomach, everything's in motion. Okay? Here we go. Now, the one I really like is through the nose. Like something smells weird. Did you ever see a dog do this? They have this whole thing going through the nose. That also shakes your diaphragm, shakes your ribs, and makes you feel very open and relaxed. Now, you really don't have to practice panting. I'm just having you do panting today so you can find out whether you have a problem with panting, whether you're tight, whether you actually have a problem with getting the looseness the panting gives you, whether you're fighting it, okay? So keep panting sort of as a diagnostic exercise. You don't necessarily have to practice it. But if you ever feel tight, give yourself a few you want to get that response in the diaphragm so that it's very, very, very loose and free and like a trampoline. Sternum, we're looking for a sternum, our sternum to float. And our sternum floats and should not decline when you breathe. So we have a couple of exercises here that are to sort of strengthen the float, if you will, but it actually is kind of forcing the sternum to stay in this position, balanced position here in the front of the rib cage. And the first part is called PFFFFT. And try a V if the lips don't. Right. And I just want you're really doing it for your partner because you want the partner, you want to show the partner how their ribs are supposed to move. And you help. You squeeze her a little bit like she's a toy. Like she's a toy. Okay? Go ahead. Do your thing. You should get some movement. Rest. Ankles, knees, and hips. Okay? Ankles, knees, and hips. Got them? Got them? I want you to feel how they work. And you use them to spring to a balance point. Ready? And then you spring to another one. Ankles, knees, and hips. Okay? Go. Spring. Only spring when I tell you to spring. The rest of the time you're looking for balance. And you may use your arms if you want to. Spring. And balance. Smile. And spring. Yeah, a little more daring, Zach, perhaps. And spring. There we go, Zach. Aha! I found your Achilles heel. Now we have to sing the song. So you sing the song, and you only can sing the phrase when you're finally at your balance point. So I'll snap my Blessed inside.
Blessed inside.
You're through a strong. Breath is based on what I'm saying. And I'm speaking to you now, and I'm not thinking about having prepared to say that. I'm still talking on the same breath. But I'm squeezing now because I'm running out of air, but I haven't gotten to my point yet, which I just did on point, right? And then I breathe. So we actually breathe to replace the air we've used, and we also breathe to remember because we have a desire to share something. So breathing relates to what you're going to say next. Just a little bit, not the full way. And you do. Your line is I don't, by the way. You do.
I don't.
Leave the gesture up. You want if there's a gesture, it stays. You do too, Bridget.
I don't.
Oh, you didn't like that, Matisse. Did you feel her head move there?
Oh, the head's not supposed to move at all.
The head's not, you're supposed to be massaging it while and from side to side. Not the scalp, but actually let her head. So you see how her shoulders move with her head? It means she's fused here. She's braced.
Good, you're not fused.
You understand that? Basically, you can't move your head from side to side. You're braced. You do too.
I don't.
You're colliding, Yvonne. You do too.
I don't.
You do.
I don't.
You do.
I don't.
You do.
I don't.
That's good, Bridget. Actually, basically a coordination in the throat because the voice is really right here. You can't deny that. But for years, people were trying to place the voice in the head or place it in the chest, and that causes problems for you if you try to limit yourself. So it's a change that will happen if you let it happen. The head voice for ladies is something you don't like that much because it's kind of weedy, right? So basically, it's chest, 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 chest. Say that for me.
Chest, 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 chest.
Head, 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 ladies. Just the ladies. That's your head voice, right? Head, 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 head. Chest, 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 chest. Chest, 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 head, 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 head.
Chest, 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 head, 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 head.
Right. You've got to be willing to make that change or you get into big trouble. If you push the chest up, your voice will crack. Amazing grace, which is what yodeling is. Yodeling, yodeling is actually these people that decide they're going to warble between their head and chest. Ladies, you must allow yourself to go to the head voice in voice classes regularly, okay? So, amazing grace. And then stop. I once was lost, try it. Coming down to the chest, but now I'm found. But as soon as you feel that pressure and you feel that you're in danger of cracking, you should flip to the head voice. And how do we flip the head voice? The simple rule is just feel a little bit breathy and feel a little bit Marilyn Monroe. Does everybody know who Marilyn Monroe is?
Yes.
So you've got to feel that Marilyn Monroe thing happening there. Oh, Mr. President. You shouldn't have. And basically, you're going to have characters that adopt a breathy voice as well, right? So you want to understand how this works. Oh, you fought for me, the Southern Belle. You brought me flowers, Colonel. Colonel brought me flowers. So basically, you've got to be able to figure this out because you can't just be a truck driver in the voice all the time. Now, gentlemen, your voice is more difficult to figure out where the head voice is. I'm going to do a male head voice now and a male chest voice. Chest, 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 head, head, head. I'm going to play some characters that are very, very light in the voice, sensitive, you know, have a smaller, perhaps, vocal cord than the big, tough. And it also depends, men have this whole identity crisis that they're going through, so they don't want to sound like that sometimes. They want to sound macho so they don't get beat up at school. They push their voices down. They do all kinds of terrible things to their voices, right? But the important thing is the head voice is simply a more aspirated version, and it actually can go further than chest voice. The chest voice sounds very strident at a certain point and flat. Men, chest, 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 head, 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 yeah. And it'll break over eventually to what's called your falsetto, which is our imitation of a female's head voice. So, this is the men have what's called the Mickey Mouse voice. That's the Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse! Wow! And you've got to be able to do that. You've got to be able to do that because you're going to be working in the cartoon studio. But that's a fake voice. That's why it's called a falsetto. False meaning it's a false voice. It's a falsetto. Because their vocal cords aren't actually together. Whereas for the women's head voice, that sounds sort of like our falsetto. But you hear the falsetto sounds really cartoony, right? Amazing grace. No one's going to think that's a woman singing, right? Because it doesn't have the same quality, it doesn't have the same strength, it doesn't have the same focus. Although, and you'll notice, those of you that are following opera, you notice in opera, there are all kinds of male singers that are now emulating what was called the castrati approach to singing. So simply state it. A simple way to answer this is short ah, long ah, round it. Nick is talking about this one seems to lean towards an O shape more than an A shape. Watch my mouth. All. I feel rather silly because my lips are so extended. But again, you get that very classical and modern and what they call mid-Atlantic and eastern seaboard kind of, my daughter is all in for the Kentucky Derby. So you're looking for that hoity-toity, educated, mid-Atlantic sound. Merlin, you looking for that sound? Yes. Having vacation there, now you can sound like that. Say it for me, everybody. All. All. Now say it how we always say it. All. We just say all, on, off, all. I don't give a damn about these ahs. Right. So this is weightlifting for the vocal cords, right? This is your workout at the gym. This is what you got to do. And it goes directly to strengthening the voice. It didn't confuse you. I only want the vowel sound in the word. So the other trick of great speakers is when they actually open up their mouths to say something, they're focused on the resonating position of the word, which is the vowel sound. And the emotional position of every word is the vowel sound. Consonants are just in the way. They bring comprehension eventually, yes, but the important thing is to focus only on vowel sounds for the next couple of weeks. I'm hearing an S there. There should be no S anywhere in your mind, right? Well, in your mind, anywhere in your voice. So you're literally standing in front of a billboard. It has is written on it, but all I can see is this giant. So big I. Finally over there there's an S somewhere, right? Get the word in your brain, but the important thing is isolate the vowel sound. It's called isolating the vowel sound. All. With me. Go. Is it an E? Is it actually an E? It sounds like you guys are doing E. What is it? Is it but the second vowel sound? Second vowel sound, is it E? It's I. It's I. So don't go so far. Don't close the instrument. Here we go. Whole first phrase now. You ready? And amazing. You've got to have every sound. Every sound's got to be there. Zing. Same thing. 2 pitches on the primary position. Who knew? Most people are doing zing, 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 zing. It's Z, Z-I-H. Right, right. So you're constructing this sound by sound, and that favors full vocal resonance. It's also a good training device. And your voice will just literally grow to fill up all that space. Otherwise you get amazing, right? You ever wonder why the country and western singers are like that, right? Because they don't know how to open up a resonating position. How sweet our sound. They can't even open their mouth, right? Yeah. And eventually, as you get more advanced, you should take the whole thing on one breath. I'll demonstrate. There are 4 poor dears. Totally in the driver's seat in terms of when I decide to bring in the impringer. Your turn. I want to see whether you can figure out where you need to do it and where you really don't need to do it. Last tonight. Say it, everybody.
Last night.
Last night.
Last night.
Which is better?
The second one.
The second one is better. Why?
Because it's too many plosives.
And we also can hear that we're going to get last night or last tonight. We're going to get it no matter what. But what about this one? Last night there were. Last night there were.
You sound like a cowboy.
Last night there were 4.
Yeah.
Those little releases catapult you.
I heard tales that could set my heart aglow.
Package it. I've heard tales that could set my heart aglow. Go.
I've heard tales that could set my heart
Where? How?
aglow.
That's called hierarchizing it. You're packaging it, you find a contact point, you reinvest, you're going to find the phrase a lot easier to sing, and a glow is actually going to be something we really want to listen to. I've heard tales, safe, that will set my heart safe, and then a glow. Gravitational center, especially when it concerns a person's And then consternation. Movement, perhaps? I've heard tales that will set your heart aglow. Disappointment. Wish I knew if the things I heard are so. They say that falling in love is wonderful. Change. It's another thought. It's wonderful. Doubt? So they say. And then more energy. So I'm looking for you to find all of these shifts in energy all the time and just turn it into this incredible little work of art. And you see why I'm looking all the time to find something that's within my bulb. And what is bulb?
The believability.
Believability.
Time.
And the time.
And the time.
Yes.
And time.
Yes.
And a time.
And the time.
Parsley, yes. Sage, rosemary, and thyme. My golden coat flew out of sight. Good for you. Those releases are key to keep yourself fresh. Now, stand up for this, stand up for this. We start really super high here. One. It's ready there. But what's nice about this is we're coming from rest. So here's my hand. It's one. Ooh. One hand. One heart. And the secret with notes is how much effort? How much effort? A lot, a little less, the same as before, and the same as before. So if you put in the right amount of energy, you hit the right pitch. If you scream them all the same, you're going to get lost. Here we go. One and one heart. Good. These releases in there. So that you get this sense of full focus, full embodiment of the emotion, full embodiment of the singing the right pitch. Because your pitch improves when you have the right approach to it. I should be hearing wah, 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 wah. Just big, free sound. No judgment. Because when you sing, you ought to. I don't want any of that garbage anymore. That's for choral singers, back row. You guys are soloists. So you've got to get the solo voice going, okay?
Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. For everything I long to do, no matter when or where or who, has one thing in common too.
You're also, what you're experimenting with now is modulation in tone. So it's not just the same old ed, it is, it's There are actually soft tones in those voices that can also project because the vocal cords are getting more and more focused. This is called the contact point. There's no air leaking out of this point and nobody breathing. Seal it up, seal it up. Good, and take a breath. And just one more clarification, very important. If you're going to do this, this represents the instrument ready to be played. This does not represent the playing of the instrument. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're not lifting weights here. We're actually setting up a resonating position. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm getting tired. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm getting tired. Yeah, yeah, yeah. when you feel you're tired, you have to pop it up and let the voice release again.
Each calls forth her charms and provokes his desires, though willing to all with but one he retires. But think of this maxim and put off all sorrow.
After a while, what happens is when you pop the knees, the breath becomes so automatic, so liquid, so easy, that you're hardly even aware that you're popping your knees. When you push the voice a bit too much, it loses its resonance. So it just sounds rather strident. But just find that area where you know you're giving as much as you're giving a nice solid sound, but you're not actually pushing it. When you push against anything that's making sound, it actually begins to lose its resonance. Come to the blackboard. Come on. What I did. So it's a little one. What I did. So this is the big investment right here. You release right between these two, between the what, right?
What I did.
Again.
What I did.
Very good, very good, very good. And this is where the consonant goes on, right? Right here. Ta-ah, 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 ta-ah. What ta-ah. Again.
What I.
Again.
What I.
Yeah, it's so effortless now. It's so effortless. But you have to put that investment in, right? So you must have done. This is the big investment. You must have done. And you're saving energy. You're saving energy there, right?
He so teased me, and he so pleased me. What I did, you must have done. And let me
Stagger the breath. One other request. Even though you're acting during that, you've got to be focused on sustaining that note. So, you've got to be working like a dog on sustaining that note. Like a dog. Take a breath. Now act. Wave your arm. Wave your arm. Look around. Big sound. Big sound. You know what? The sound actually got larger. Got bigger when you had something else to do.
and let me to the tree should the hangman refuse these fingers with
Yeah, look
pleasure.
at the power she's got when she takes that breath.
Yeah.
Whoa. Awesome.
When you come to the tree, should the hangman refuse, these fingers with pleasure will fasten the noose. These fingers with my fingers with pleasure. My fingers with
Now listen.
pleasure. Our fingers together will fasten the noose.
And the rhythm is. You can't slow down the way you're slowing down. You get really heavy, and that doesn't help. You get nervous and heavy. No, just.
When you come to the tree, should the hangman refuse, these fingers with pleasure will fasten the noose. When you come to the tree, should the hangman refuse, these fingers with pleasure will fasten the noose. My fingers with pleasure, our fingers together will fasten the noose.
Sorrow, the wretch of today may be happy
want this one to turn on. You've got to actually differentiate these stresses, right? Give it a phrase. And.
I hear the toll of the bell.
Right. That's right. Break. 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 Break.
Token of love, adieu, farewell. But hark, I hear the toll of the bell. No token of love, adieu, farewell. But hark, I hear the toll of the bell.
Actors impose on their voice emotion, what they believe to be emotion, and that manipulation and that restriction immediately has the opposite effect. It pulls them away from actually simulating emotion, creates all kinds of problems just in projection. It's just a simple reality of can you be heard? And then the physical manifestations of it are debilitating, because once you start to manipulate the voice, sooner or later the shoulders, the chin, the neck, the crunching, all of the collisions and obstructions that are hampering great acting, they come into the process. When you go to a monotone, none of that happens. You're completely devoted to what you are thinking. You hear a voice that is not human behavior in many ways, but still that voice is unhampered. And then you get this pure look, this pure sense of your own emotion.
You seem to have succeeded in making fools of most people, haven't you?
Well, I don't think I have. I didn't intend to do this.
Calculating little bastard, aren't you? You certainly fooled me. Congratulations. That doesn't often happen. You may need it.
Nice sound, Caroline. Nice sound.
Quick, come, have a look. Quick, come, have a look.
Yes, yes, yes. Listen to you. Listen to you.
Come, have a look. Is that your friend? My God, it must be.
Oh, come on, Caroline. That's fantastic.
Part of the problem with some actors is their tension resides actually in the throat, and the vocal apparatus is actually surrounded by muscles. And through tension and through emotion, the upward pulling muscles can contract and draw the larynx up quite high in the throat. And that creates a very specific kind of, well, most recognizable in Kermit the Frog, but a lot of actors go into that Kermit mode when they're getting emotional, which is very unfortunate, because it's the least emotional sound you ever could imagine. So basically what I do as a voice trainer is I ask them to actually put a little bit of a yawn, which is a standard voice training thing. The opera singers have been training with yawns for years. We don't want to impose another locked position in the throat, but to counterbalance an imbalance, you sometimes have to go to the opposite extreme.
Ooh, and this is only hearsay, but rumor has it is that you boys are planning to expand.
Good. Can you relax? Just relax the face a little bit. Relax the face. Relax the face. Relax the lips. Don't feel you have to put too much pressure on his speaking. You know, no pressure. It's more blah 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 blah. He opens up and it just comes out like sewage. Okay. What you're doing is you're seeking, you're reviewing the territory of
Mr. Jones,
reviewing the territory of his range as a speaker. Mr. Jones, you're still here.
Mr. Jones still here, are you?
Cantankerous old bastard, the chap who runs it, but is the best point for 30 miles.
He's a cantankerous old bastard, the chap who runs it, but it's the best point around for 30 miles.
Yeah.
I think it takes a good kick in the crotch.
I think it takes a good kick in the crotch.
I think it takes a good kick in the crotch to make a man painfully aware of his own mortality.
His own mortality.
His own mortality.
Hear the theater feed you back, huh? That's a great sound.
His own mortality.
Yeah, why don't you want that? Why don't you want that? Huh? Wow. I see dollars falling from heaven.